Hello everyone, welcome to today's edition. I only made one trade today. I had a power outage this morning at home here, I don't know, about 9 o'clock, and it didn't come back on till about 9:30, and I still had to set up my charts, get everything set up, so I missed anything right at the open, but I got everything going, and uh, take a look at take a well, I can't, it's not bringing it up. Okay, here's the chart I look at. It's on my other screen. I watch this, and this is where I just get a quick glance. 3-minute charts on all of them. The chart's set up the same way as the bigger chart, but this is just where I get a quick glance. So I just glance at it, and I have alerts set up also for different things, different events. So, um, take a quick look. Apple looked to me like it was going to chop today, and it did for a while. You see this chop here, it's kind of hard to play that. You could have played this bullish engulfing right here off of support. You probably could have entered this and made a little bit of money, but the risk reward wasn't that great. You had a pretty big risk all the way down to here, and reward is only up to this high here, which didn't quite hit. To be conservative, I probably would have put my target right here, but you still didn't really have a risk reward for it. And I don't always play that. It depends on momentum and the overall market sentiment. So that was Apple. Amazon, kind of the same thing, just chop in the morning. Bullish engulfing, that's actually a piercing line. It's not a bullish engulfing, it's a piercing line. Piercing line is a candle that goes just past the halfway point of the previous candle. Zoom in so you can see it. It's basically the same thing as a bullish engulfing, except it doesn't go all the way to the top. It just goes past the halfway point. That's called a piercing line. It's a bullish. It's not as strong as a bullish engulfing, but it is a bullish reversal candle. So, let me zoom back out here. But yeah, some chop here. Not really much to do until you got over to here. Not really much to play. Baba, same thing. A lot of chop until about 1 o'clock. I don't know what the event was at 1 o'clock. Must have been some kind of event for everything to drop the way it did. I don't know. Some kind of news. I wasn't really paying much attention to it. Netflix was a little bit better. You really couldn't have did anything to the upside here on this cross or anything really. You would have had to have almost caught this perfectly down here, and that's just not really reasonable. I mean, you could have played it off of this support, but you don't really have anything indicating that it's going to go up. No reason really to do it. But you do see that this yesterday's close and pre-market lows and today's open all kind of held right here for a while. Once it lost it here, that's when it dropped big. You could have played a decent downside trade right here. Still would have been, risk reward would have been tough. You would have, to be a 1-to-1, you would have had to have been, figure roughly right about here. So you could have entered at the top of this one because it got close to that, or right here. But it's still tough. I mean, I wouldn't be entering here after 2 green candles and halfway. I'd have to see some kind of reversal, and then by the time you get the reversal, you're down here, so you lost your risk reward. Nvidia, and this is really the first time I'm really looking at these charts. This would have been a good one. You would have had to pick an entry. You had almost a hammer candle here, not quite a hammer. Probably because the wick's just a little bit too long. I'm not sure why it's not an actual hammer. That's the only thing I can think of, is that wick was a little bit too long for it to be considered a hammer. But either way, that would have been a nice trade. You could have played, you could have played this pullback back to these lines here. You had some support right here. You could have played it off of that, but still, I don't like trading those entries because you don't really know that it's going to hold that. It might just keep coming down. You have moving average cross up here, which would have been a good play on pretty much any of these today. Square, I don't usually watch square, but you would have had to have caught that one right at the open, or it would have been tough to trade that one. Tesla, I think I'm going to quit trading Tesla. That thing bites me all the time. A lot of chop here until we got to here. So not much going on there. ROKU, this is what I traded. So I traded this cross. Remember, I didn't have electric till about here, and it took me till about here to get my charts set up. Either way, I probably wouldn't have made a trade here, although this would have been a good entry on this cross right at the open, because you would have had a nice payday right here. I traded the cross to the upside, the moving average cross. My stop out was going to be this low here. You could have been a little bit more aggressive, and I call it aggressive because it's more risk. You could have been a little bit more aggressive and put your stop down here, but I was looking at this as my stop out. So when we had the cross, the entry would have been about 102.94, so let's call it 103. Stop out would have been about 102, so you need $1. So you need to hit 104 to get a 1-to-1, and 104 was up here. That would have been your 1-to-1, right about at this purple line. And you see it hit that. Problem was, I didn't stick around for all of it. So, as happens too often for me, I get out too early. So I got in, I only bought 2 contracts. I got in at $1.19, and I actually got in just a little bit late. I got in at 10.54. My entry should have been, actually I did. Yeah, I did get in at the right time. Okay. I thought I was a few minutes late. I thought I got in a little bit higher than I should have, but looks like I got in about the right time. So I got in at 119. I set my sell order for the first one at 140. Sold that at 11.50, so almost an hour for that one. So 11.50 would have been right about here, and the reason for that was because there was quite a bit of resistance right here. We were coming up on, what time was that again? 11:50. Yeah, right about here. We were coming up on some resistance. We just popped above this, which was yesterday's close and the pre-market low. So we were coming up on some resistance there. So I went ahead and let one of them go, and I was up about 15% on that one contract. I set my sell order for $1.50 for the second one, which was going to be right about here. It didn't quite get filled. I'll show you my order. Canceled orders. $1.50. I canceled it at 12.12. And let's take a look and see what happened. So I canceled it at 12.12, which was right here. I canceled it right at the beginning of this candle because this candle opened and it pulled way down to here, and I thought I'm going to get out. I was getting ready to head for lunch anyway. I thought I'm going to go ahead and get out. I did a market sell. I sold for, I think it was $1.35. $1.32. So my average exit was $1.36. But you see right here, it's when I sold right at the open of this candle. It was struggling, and there were a few resistance points coming up here. So I sold, and it continued running and went up to, let's see how high it went. It made it up to 208, and I sold at $1.32 on my last contract. So the problem was I wish I would have went with 3 contracts, and I probably normally would have, except for today's Thursday and I was playing tomorrow's expiration, and they'll move pretty quickly. The problem with them moving pretty quickly is they'll also move in the wrong direction pretty quickly. Theta was also going to be a big issue, and I did not want to be holding these too much longer, so I decided to get out, because if this would have continued pulling back down, and say maybe it would have I can't think of the word now. But maybe it would have just consolidated. If it would have just consolidated here for another half hour, Theta was already catching up to me. If it would have consolidated for another half hour, I would have had to have sold way up here to break even on that last contract. So I decided it was best for me to just get out at that point. I was going to set a sell order for it to sell if it closed below this 21 EMA. In hindsight, that would have been the best way to go, because it would have sold, actually it would have sold way down here, which would have been probably about the same as what I sold for, actually a little bit more than what I sold for, but I probably would have been more likely to sell up in here rather than let it go. When I got back from lunch and saw this, I probably would have sold it there. But anyway, I sold it back here. If I would have had 3 contracts, I probably would have sold the second one here. And I probably would have, at that point, I probably would have set a stop for that last one to close, on a close below this 21 EMA, and just rode this up and left for lunch and let it go. The risk there is if you do have a huge red candle that closes down here, it's going to wipe out any gains you had from the first 2 contracts. But it's not likely to happen. I mean, this candle here was pretty big. Say it would have happened right here. You know, you had a 104.60 to, you had a 60-cent drop there. So let's say right here that would have happened. 103.20 would have been 60-cent drop. It would have wiped out the gains from the first 2 contracts for sure. But I probably would have done it that way and just rode that last one. But nonetheless, I still made, and I played the 921 EMA cross here on this one. When it's all said and done, I think I made 14.2%. My average exit was 136. My entry was 119. So yeah, 14.28%. I'm not going to complain about that. I think for the week on playing these EMA crosses, I'm 4 wins and 0 losses. Not to say that I'm not going to have losses on these down the road, because obviously they don't all work out. You can see that right here on, I don't know, let's say Apple, because Apple was pretty choppy at the open. You know, if I would have traded this cross right here, this very first cross, I would have been buying calls almost at the highs. So this wouldn't have worked. It's not about just trading across. I look at other indicators with it, other signs, not necessarily indicators, but like I said the other day, these lines were both curling to the upside. We made a higher low right here. This cloud was wide here before it crossed, so it had some movement. When these are real tight, you're not getting much movement. There's going to be a lot of chop. So it's kind of looking at that. Plus, it bounced off of some support here. So this is a pivot point. And this here would have been yesterday's low, or I think yesterday's high. I don't know. They're the same color. I have to go back and see, but I'm not gonna. Either way, it's a resistance or support point once it's above it. So I was kind of trading that. Looking at that, I was also above the reverse engineering RSI, and above the VWAP. So for those reasons, I was kind of confident in this one. You know, like I said, it's not a matter of just seeing a cross and saying, "Oh, I'm going to jump in." Check out the other things around it. For the week, I don't have my spreadsheet open. I have a spreadsheet that I track these trades. I open it right now. It's on my other computer, so I can't put it on screen for you. But 4-0 for the week now. My average gain before today was 11.01%, so probably closer to about 12% right now. I made 8%, 8.45, 16.58, and today 14.2. Yesterday I made 3 trades, 2 winners and a loser, but I didn't use the EMA cross on any of those trades. I looked at other indicators, specifically candlestick patterns. So anyway, that's what I did today. That's the only trade I made today. I was kind of afraid to get in any other trades because we had more storms coming through. You know, I have my phone here. I can log in from my phone. And when I do enter a trade, I make sure my phone is already logged into my trading account in case I do lose power for some reason. I can get out from my phone. So it's just a little tip to everybody. If you're going to trade, make sure you have your app set up on your phone also, and be logged into it just in case there's a power outage of some sort. You can get in from your phone. So that's it for today. I don't know if I'll be trading tomorrow. Probably not. I'm off work tomorrow. I'll probably won't be in the house, so I probably won't be doing any trades tomorrow or video tomorrow. And I'm not sure if I'll be able to trade Monday. I have some stuff going on at work Monday morning, so I probably won't be able to do any trading Monday morning. But if not, you know, I'll see you guys next time I make a video and let you know what went on. But thanks for watching, and hope this helped you. Thanks. Bye.